This is Jay Dobbins, and I love the 99% Radio Network. Do yourself a favor and start listening today, right now, and every day. Tune into these guys and make yourself better.
Welcome to Making a Difference Wednesday here in the Fishbowl on the 99% Radio Network, broadcasting you live from Globe Life Park, the heart of the entertainment district here in Arlington, Texas. We are still in a COVID lockdown. It is, what is today, July 22nd. I want to welcome my co-host, Mongo and 12. What's up, guys?
How you doing, brother? What's going on, Sideshow?
Man, we got a special guest in the studio today that I really want to emphasize on is Mad Dog Mike with Microdot Helmets, a proud new sponsor of the 99% Radio Network. Thank you, Mike, for joining us. Thank you for everything you've been doing, man. And you got some great events coming up that I want to share real quick in the beginning of the show, because this is nationwide, right? This is East Coast to West Coast. This is for every law enforcement motorcycle club, anybody who rides a bike, any cager, any tractor driver, anybody, right? So tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, it's Bikers Backing Blue is the name of it, and it's just really turned into a big event. I mean, we've got 20,000 shares in New York. We're set up at events officially in Seattle and Portland, San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, Texas, Austin, New York, Philadelphia. I mean, there's just a lot of places that are getting involved in it. And we set it up to make it easy for people to get involved, where you simply, wherever you live in a county somewhere.
Right.
Every county has a county courthouse.
Yep.
And what we're trying to do is get bikers, tractor drivers. I mean, we got some Wisconsin guys that we're going to be driving our tractors. So just show up at your county courthouse at high noon on August the 6th, Central Standard Time. So that's Dallas time. Central Time is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock East Coast, 10 o'clock West Coast. Show up at your county courthouse and be on the steps at 12 o'clock Central Time. And what we're trying to do is get everybody who's there is to do a Facebook live feed. If we can get everybody doing a live feed, you're going to have thousands of live feeds going. I mean, it'd be great to shut down Facebook servers just
there you go.
To have too much.
That would be amazing.
But the idea, of course, is to back to blue. I mean, and talk and discuss why. I mean, how ridiculous it is to defund our police officers.
You know,
have chaos.
That is something we've been talking about for the longest time, and I got to bring up since you went down that road with the defunding of the police. And, I just got to bring up what happened this past week in New York. If we really want to look at this, we're listening to politicians who are telling us to, not call 911, to call their info line, to try to handle things on their own. Well, Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president, went on TV the other day, and he said, do not call 911 for illegal fireworks. Please talk to your neighbors and tell them to stop doing what they're doing. Well, that worked out real well for a young couple coming out of the projects over in East New York, Brooklyn, because when she followed his commands to say, okay, I'm not going to call 911 and I'm going to go tell these boys to stop shooting off fireworks, they shot her multiple times, taking her life. They also shot her companion that was with her. He is in critical condition. So, we got people out here making decisions for civilians, innocent civilians, to take the law into their own hands, and with devastating results. So we cannot do that. So defunding the police is a horrible idea. I mean, yes, in some places we can reallocate funds for more training. There is a step forward to change some of the culture, but to remove money from already overburdened police departments is a bad idea for any community out there. So that's what Mad Dog is doing. He is supporting nationwide our Back to Blue programs by showing our county legislators, by showing our politicians that we are not going to sit idle by and watch you hurt innocent lives.
Now, Mad Dog, you're leading or going to be at the lead of one of the rides to the courthouse, correct? Which one are you taking care of?
I'll be leading the one in Tarrant County. We're
Okay.
going to the Texas Walker Ranger fame, and we've got over 500 who are committed. And again, it's a mass turnout. And if you defund the cops, I mean, New York has already defunded $1 billion on an annual budget out of there. That's just stupid.
Do you know let me elaborate on that real quick. On that $1 billion that they defunded, they took away Special Victim Services, which is to help rape victims, right? Yeah, we've all watched
Right.
SUV, right?
Right.
They've taken away the gang incentives and cyber crimes. You're letting gangs, pedophiles, and rapists run the city by taking away these essential services for people in New York.
Well, look at the chaos that they're having right now in Portland and Seattle. Now, you take Portland and Seattle, and that's just a microcosm, but that's just an itty-bitty compared to New York City. My gosh, and you extrapolate that out. I mean, New York City would be, the old movie,
Right.
Prison New York City, whatever.
Escape from New York.
Escape from New York, and it's just ridiculous that you can think we can do that, because the communities who need the police are the ones who are asking for the defunding of it, and they absolutely want to defund it. Now,
I know.
it's
They
my
want to
view.
abolish it.
Yeah, well,
some counties want to abolish their police departments.
their goal is when you get rid of the community police officers, well, then you can't not have police, and then there you go. Now they're going to be talking about a federal police force. Do we want to go down that road?
No,
Have
they
federal
don't want it in
police?
their towns now. They don't want it. I mean, and the federal government right now is overburdened with their federal police officers. When we talk about the ATF, when we talk about the FBI, and we talk about other U.S. Marshal's Office, they are overburdened doing other things.
Right.
Not the basic community law enforcement, but we have drug traffickers, sex traffickers, human trafficking.
Right.
We have those guys are overburdened to begin with. They cannot worry about running a community, and I don't know if you guys saw what happened last night. And hey, the blood on your hands, Mayor Lightfoot out of Chicago, because gang activity has skyrocketed in Chicago, and during a funeral, a drive-by shot 14 people in front of 10 women and 4 men in front of this funeral home, and 3 blocks away, a 3-year-old was shot in his car seat, got shot in the head because the father was having an argument at a gas station with somebody, and they decided to pull out a gun and fire at the car, clipping the kid in the head. They say the kid's okay, he's gonna live, but still, that's a traumatic event. And they had the police commissioner on from Chicago on today, and the numbers he spat out were exorbitant, where he said there is over 117,000. That's the number, correct number. 117,000 known gang members in Chicago. That comes down to, and he broke it down to 2,500 different sets of gang members. So I Googled how many police are in Chicago. There's 12,000 police officers to control 117,000 criminal gang members.
And that's just the
Do the
gangs.
math.
That's not the other things that the police do. That's just the gang activity.
Right.
You know what I like about some of this stuff, though, is seeing the feds in unmarked vehicles rolling up. They've changed their tactics, which they've had to do. People that don't understand, never worked in law enforcement, don't understand why why the tactics have changed, and they're throwing all this bitch about the tactics that the feds are using.
Right.
But I watched
They're
one of them
calling
the
it
other day.
kidnapping.
Well, see, the problem is the media is not giving the federal officers a fair shake, because they're saying that they're kidnapping people in unmarked cars and taking them off to who knows where. Well, they have changed their tactics, but what they do is they're protecting federal property. They don't have to ask permission from the mayor or the governor. That's their job. And the media, although the media knows this, they're not reporting that. They're saying, well, they're there because Trump sent in the stormtroopers.
Gestapo, yeah.
Which is absolutely not true. They're there protecting federal property, which they're mandated by Congress to do.
And I love it when I haven't seen much video, but the video I have seen, when they roll up and 6 of them guys that are obviously in shape bail out of the car and go after one of the instigators. They know the shit's about to hit the fan. They ain't fighting back. They're giving up. There's none of this crap that they're getting from the cops that have been given these, hold fast and stand down, don't be too aggressive bullshit. You see them bail out. I know I'm about to get nailed if I don't immediately turn around and submit myself to arrest.
But see, these cops aren't pulling peaceful protesters off the street. These
No,
cops
these
aren't
are
even
bad people. Yes.
They're not even pulling the bad people off. They're pulling identified Antifa
instigators.
But
members.
they're watching what they do, and they're not necessarily taking them off right when they're doing it. They're taking them off down the road,
right?
Which is what they should do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? Trump has already deemed Antifa a terrorist organization.
Isn't that great?
Right?
Yeah.
So if you are a terrorist in this country, your rights, you don't have your constitutional rights, and the federal government has the right to snatch you off that block for the safety of the community and interrogate you.
For you listeners, everybody thinks, there's nothing I can do. I mean, what can I do as an individual? Well, what you can do is show up.
Yes.
I mean, this is a vehicle that allows us to take a stand for doing the right thing and do it in a nonviolent way, but show up in force. Numbers get noticed. Numbers is what makes things happen. And if you're not doing anything, go for a nice ride or drive on a Sunday afternoon at 8 o'clock. I mean, on the Sunday, August the 8th. And show up. Just being there and doing your live feed on your phone is enough to. I mean, surely you've got a few friends who are going to watch that somewhere, or family, friends around the country. And we're talking, for every one person out there, you got 10 or 12, 15 that are watching elsewhere. And we can turn this thing into a monster movement, and maybe just call it the inaugural Bikers Back in Blue event, because we need to do this on a regular basis.
And on top of that, let's add, not only do your Facebook Live, but once you get onto those county steps with all your supporters, take a quick photo op. Take that snapshot and send them over to Mad Dog so he can put a nice collage together and show nationwide across the country how many supporters there actually are of Back in the Blue. And if we can get each city, your email is going to be overloaded with great pictures of supporters on the courthouse steps of each individual city, state, and county across the country. And think about the powerful message that will send to the criminal element.
Yeah, and that email, if I may give the email address out, I'm more than happy to. It's Big Dog, so BIGDOG at Skoot Dog, and that's Skoot with a K, SKOOTDOG.com. So Big Dog at SkootDog.com. And when you're on the steps, you're at the county courthouse, do a check-in. So let people know that's where you're at.
Great. Yep.
You're doing a live feed from there. You got to check in from there, take them good photos, good videos, and email them to me, and we'll get it out there to people, because this is something that really needs to be done. People are embracing it, but we always need more. So.
Well, I'd like to think that we get enough people around the country to go on Facebook Live at the same time and crash Zuckerberg's servers. I think that'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be great? That would just be
support your local police and crash Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg.
I thought you said Zuckerberg. Sorry.
Well, I call them different things. But,
yeah, that would be really great to see a nation come together for our brothers and sisters in law enforcement that are really battling out there, man. There are guys out there that are just trying to make a difference, and they have to get up for work every day and be spit on, thrown bottles at, bricks at, being injured. I mean, in the last 48 hours, we've had over 40 cops injured in different parts of the country. Look at those. I mean, and everybody saw the horrendous attack on the police officers in Washington that were trying to guard the Christopher Columbus statue, they were being pelted by frozen water bottles and bricks and stones. I mean, that was horrific the way these so-called peaceful protesters were treating federal law enforcement. So, when you got a mob like that is willing to take that stand against federal law enforcement, this is why I really sympathize with the husband and wife out of Mississippi, Minneapolis, Missouri, who protected their property with firearms, because you don't know how quick these mobs are going to turn on you. If they're going to burn precincts, if they're going to burn buildings, if they're going to try to break into federal courthouses, if they're going to attack federal police officers and local and state police officers, what do you think they're going to do to the average homeowner? Right?
What I'm finding also right now, it's really sad in the sense that there's not a law enforcement officer anywhere that I've brought this to their attention that has not given us their support. But the sad part is they can't stand up and defend themselves. They can't stand up and just promote what they're doing because of the laws, the governors out there.
They're silenced.
The COVID stuff, and they are. And it's sad to see such a group of noble men that have to rely on others to protect them, and because the guy can do his job and get thrown in jail. So it's up to us to do that and take care of these men and women who can't defend themselves against the system.
We talked about this last week, so I'm not going to belabor the point, but I'll say it again. Antifa, BLM, the political movement, not Black Lives Matter, has declared war against the United States government and people like us. And by that I mean like the law-abiding 99% of the country.
Right.
And it is time for law enforcement to adjust their tactics accordingly. When they're being pelted with bricks, frozen water bottles, poked with sharpened PVC pipes, assaulted with baseball bats, I'm just going to come out and say it now, what I feel in my heart. It's time for law enforcement across the country to fight fire with fire. If you get punched in the face, punch them back twice in the face. At this point, I don't care if they crack their skulls. I don't give a shit. This stuff has got to stop. And I support the president. I support him sending in the federal troops. Look at all the damage that's been done, right?
I mean, in billions.
Millions and billions, whatever much.
Yeah, I would say
clearly millions, right?
It's got to be hitting $1
billion. What about the
dollars.
decent people that are having to put up with this shit night after night after night in Portland? They can't sleep because fireworks are being shot at the police officers. It's time to stop this crap. As Barney Fife would say, it's time to nip it in the bud and do what I advocate for, doing whatever is necessary. It's no longer about peaceful protest. We all support that. Okay? We had an example of a peaceful protest in Rowlett where BLM came in, they made their point. There was not any instance whatsoever. There was no violence,
right,
no vandalism, no rioting, no arson, and they made their points, which they're certainly entitled to do.
Right.
These people on the street now that are burning, looting, spray painting, they got nothing coming to them as far as I'm concerned. It's time to kick their ass, clean the streets up, and let's get back to normal.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Since we're on that, we noticed that, and Trump has said this numerous times, that these are Democratic-run cities, okay? And not every Democratic-run city is having an issue. It's the far left-wing Democratic cities. What's your feelings on this? When a mayor and a governor refuses federal help for if their city is burning down, and they have anarchy in the streets, and their law-abiding citizens are frightened and staying in their homes, and our elected officials like de Blasio and Mayor Lightfoot and whatever her name is over in Portland refuse any federal help. What are your thoughts? I mean, there's an end game for this. Well, and everybody turns around and says, connect the dots. There's something big. There's a bigger picture here, and I don't want to get into conspiracy, but there's a bigger picture here. Is why wouldn't you want the help to help clean up your city?
There are mechanisms to take those mayors out of office. However, they've got the backing of their city councils, so those mechanisms won't work until we get to election day. And the end game is election day. They want as much chaos as possible to either continue, and then they'll just blame Trump for not doing anything. But then when Trump does do something, they're going to blame Trump for all the aftermath. If somebody gets hurt, somebody gets killed, it's Trump's fault because he sent in his stormtroopers. It's the end game is the election, and unfortunately, all this crap is going to continue until November 3rd. Then this shit's going to stop one way or the other.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Do you really think? I mean,
some of
if
this
Trump
stuff
gets reelected, I think this stuff's going to go tenfold.
I'm hoping that the people of America will just watch what's going on, because right now Schumer and Pelosi they won't even speak out against these protesters.
Right.
Pelosi's attitude is, people are going to do what they're going to do, and they won't make a comment condemning what these people are doing to their cities and their states. They're breaking the law, folks. I mean, you're the lawmaker. These people are breaking the law. Speak up. But the Democrats won't do that. It's their game is we're going to hell. Pelosi almost took charge the other day. She told America she's second in line, which she's not. She's third, but she's an alcoholic drunk. She wouldn't know.
Yeah.
She's actually third in line, but being the drunk that she is, she can't count that high.
Well, she's probably hoping Pence gets COVID and mysteriously
disappears.
Well, I think
like Epstein.
Pence is first in line and she's second in line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, right? So she did have it right.
He's in line. Anyway.
He's in line. All right, let me ask you guys another question. November is still about 100 days away, right? Till Election Day. Maybe we're down at less than 100.
I think we're like at 101, but we may be at 100. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think we're going to – now, we haven't even hit the heat of the summer yet. We're not even really into July.
Yeah, but Portland doesn't get the heat that we get.
Yeah,
they're in like day 58 of their nightly riots. They don't get this kind of heat. They may get warm, but it's like a pleasant warm. It's not Texas hell hot.
It's a calming warm. But, we know that crime notoriously spikes in the summer months, no matter where you are. Right now, with schools being held up, right? Schools are going to be held up till whenever. So we're going to have a lot more teenagers and kids out on the street. Do you think our law enforcement is going to be able to make it through the next 2 months dealing with this on an everyday basis? I mean, they've already dealt with it for over 3 months of being spit on and beaten and rocks thrown at.
So
do you think they're going to be able to? I mean, God, I hope they do.
It depends.
But it's only a matter of time before they walk away.
It depends. If they let them take control, they have tactics. They have the ability to stop it. They have the ability. What's lacking is the political wherewithal on the part of these limp-dicked politicians that are in control of their city. That guy from Seattle and the mayor in Portland, they are as un-American to me as you can get. And their vitriol directed toward the president because he's doing what he's constitutionally mandated to do is ridiculous. They took the same oath. They're
right.
not upholding their oath. They're letting people's lives be ruined because they're socialist. You got to look at the big picture. Look at Minneapolis. Look at what happened there. Think of what happened back under Obama. You had the largest plant, I guess I don't know what the right word is, migration from Somalia. They brought in all these Somalians who live in a shithole, right, to America, and they put them there in Minneapolis, right, and St. Paul. It's the largest congregation of them. So what you're not seeing on the mainstream media is what happened in Minneapolis with those people. Do you remember France from a couple years ago? The French police in Paris, they have no-go zones, right? Okay, they're Muslim no-go zones,
right?
Where all the writings and they would go down the street and light the cars on fire and burn them and all. And I'm not picking on any one particular religion over another. I'm just stating what factually happened. All right. So it was Islamic fundamentalists or Muslim extremists over in France that were doing that. A lot of them were from Somalia and various places that used to be colonized by France. Well, under Obama, he brings in all these people from Somalia and transplants them. So now, a lot of these people, and I've been reading up on this, who took to the streets to protest? The people that we brought here to give them a better way of life. Who's their representative? Ilhan Omar, who hates this frickin' country. Okay? You look at the really. You said
Right.
you hate to
Well,
talk about
like
it.
you said,
Look at the
connect the
really
dot-
big picture. You can
connect the
connect the
dots.
dots, and you can see
Yeah.
when you start looking at it closely. Some of the shit starts to make sense as to why it's happening.
Well, let me just stop you right there real quick. If this is pissing, if you're listening to the 99% Radio Network right now, and this is pissing you off, you know what? Give us a shout. 214-556-6239. That's 214-556-6239. If this is pissing you off and you need to vent, because really this is causing a lot of tension in a lot of American citizens. So give us a shout, 214-556-6239. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what you think, what should be done, how our police should react, how our politicians should react, and which politicians do you want to call out on the carpet that should be removed from office. So give us a shout. Once again, 214-556-6239. Man, it's just...
And you can say whatever you want, but you just can't use the F word.
Right. You can even call Mayor Lightfoot Beetlejuice. you know, and this is why Mad Dog is putting this together, man. This is why Mad Dog is trying to unite everybody in a civil way and show that we support not only our law enforcement, but our first responders, our veterans, our American way of life, our freedoms. This is a back to blue type of freedom ride to show the anarchists, the Marxists, the criminal element out on the street saying there is no way you're going to win this war, because we have people all over the nation that are going to stand up on our county court steps and say, we're not taking it no more. We are going to fight for our country.
Right,
If our police officers do not have the voice or the ability to take control, you know what? The civilian population out here, the retired vets, the retired law enforcement will help you out.
You know, I'm hoping, taking off what 12 was saying, that because I grew up in Seattle, so I know how the liberal thought that goes on there. And I'm hoping that places like Seattle and Portland, even New York, that these people, the residents, get knowledge now and see what's going on in their city government and realize that they put them there. The only reason why they're there is because they put them there.
Now, being a resident, right, of Seattle,
Right?
there's got to be law-abiding elderly couples sitting in their home right now, scared to go to the market, scared to go outside because of the random assaults. There's got to be people that are stuck in their homes because of this, right?
Oh, sure there are. Sure. The people in the old chop zone. I mean, they were afraid to go out. They were getting assaulted and harassed just in the same, and they live there.
And they live there.
So I just can't imagine that the people would put these leaders back in office. But look what they did in New York. They put Blasio in a second term, and he is a disgrace. Blasio is just a disgrace.
The city is just. I was looking at some Facebook pictures today, just of friends of mine who are still in New York. We're driving down some of the streets in Manhattan and Brooklyn and showing the trash that is built up on the streets because garbage men aren't picking stuff up. So it kind of looks like the Skid Row of California, along with the homeless issue and the graffiti that is taking over all of the buildings, the structures of Manhattan. Just driving down the road, it looks like you are in a third world country. When you drive down Fifth Avenue, which is supposed to be a beautiful place, windows are boarded up. I mean, graffiti is all over, cursing is all over, and they interviewed one of the Occupy City Hall people about all this graffiti, and it was F this, F the police, defund this, kill that, pigs suck, pig in a blanket, all this hatred that was plastered all over the side of buildings and churches, and she turned around and she goes, well, that's our artwork. That's art.
I heard today, and unfortunately I had the TV turned down. I had the news on, but I wasn't paying close attention. I was actually getting ready to come down here. But one of the conservative groups that they always file lawsuits to get Freedom of Information Act releases, but they applied for a permit to paint MAGA 2020 on the street right next to BLM.
I heard that.
The city turned them down, so they threatened a lawsuit because if you're going to allow one group, you have to allow another by law.
Right.
And so they are actually painting over the BLM.
I saw that.
I don't know if it was New York or where it was.
It wasn't New York.
I said, I was not paying attention. I just heard the guy talking afterwards. I was like, you know what? Way to go.
They were going to paint that in front of the police headquarters.
Right.
Yeah. And you're right. If it's good for one, it's good for all.
Yeah.
But we have set these Democratic politicians have set a precedent throughout our nation that it's okay to commit criminal acts of vandalism and graffiti and damage and destruction and assault when our district attorneys and our attorney generals are letting these people out of jail.
And
they're locking them up for one thing and going back out the next door.
Do you know what some great irony? I'm sorry, Mongo, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just what you were saying, some great irony there. I saw where this lady in New York City, an African-American lady, has been arrested multiple times for vandalizing the BLM,
Yes.
Black Lives Matter thing. She's been going out and dumping paint on it. They've
keeps
been
going.
arrest her. They take her in because of the stupid bail policy. She walks right back out, goes to the hardware store, buys more paint, and comes back
Yep.
and does it again.
Yep.
I think that's just the
And
greatest irony in the world.
The cops are, they are not. They're waiting for her to finish her painting.
Well,
And,
unfortunately, that one cop got hurt. I watched the video. I appreciated what she was doing, but the cops were being real gentle trying to arrest her.
Right.
And the paint she had smeared was real slick. So while they had her gently by the arms,
I
one
see.
cop lost his footing, and he took a face plant into the asphalt.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Knocked himself out. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say our Democratic politicians, especially Schumer and Pelosi, they've got huge balls because they can look directly into the camera and blame all of this violence on Trump. It's Trump's fault.
Yeah.
All this stuff. It's like, really? I mean, is there anything that he hasn't done to this country, according
Right.
to them?
Right. I mean, and it's easy to place blame. Even Mayor Lightfoot, Beetlejuice in Chicago, on the 14 people that were shot, try to deflect the blame off city politics and off the handcuffing of police on other issues such as social reform. These gang members, 117,000 gang members, if we just treat them like, if we gave them more of community service, that they wouldn't be shooting up the city. Wake up. Wake up. How many how many people got to die before you see that it is a criminal problem and there is no rehabilitation for these people? They have to be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah, we gave them downtown Seattle for what, 4 weeks?
Right.
And the crime rate went up 525%.
And a murder.
Right.
2 murders.
Yeah.
2 murders within the CHOP zone. Numerous assaults, numerous rapes. Who is held accountable for those?
So I'm not going to speak out of turn and name them, Mad Dog, but I'm seeing quite a few posts from different LEMCs who are indicating that they'll be supportive. A couple of them from Dallas County I see, and then I've seen several more for supporting your specific one in Tarrant County. So it's looking like you'll probably have a pretty good turnout there.
I'll post the links to the one in Tarrant County, maybe the one in New York and Dallas. But if you just go to on your Facebook, if you'll just search Microdot Helmet Company, you will see that I have an event in about 15, 18 cities. And those are just the ones that we've created an event page for. All you really need to know is the address to your county courthouse. And there's nothing that has to be formalized here. All you got to do is show up to your county's courthouse. But I'm going to, as far as meeting, we're going to meet at Skoot Dog for the Tarrant County. And there will be other ones that will be meeting there. And some will be going to Ellis County. Some will be going to Dallas County, Johnson County, and leaving there. But the key is just grab who you can grab and ride to your county courthouse and be there on the steps at 12 o'clock.
We are a worldwide radio show, and we do have a lot of LE and motorcycle clubs in other countries. So this does not just stand for the United States. So if you are in the UK, if you are in Italy, if you are in any one of those areas, You can do the same thing.
Right.
There's county courthouses. There's county, I don't know if you would call them a courthouse over there in Ireland or maybe just whatever. Go there. Go to your representative part of your county and get on those steps. We want to see international pictures. We want to see international Facebook Lives of your groups supporting the blue throughout the world. Let's make it worldwide. Let's not just hold it to the United States. Officers are being assaulted throughout the world,
right,
in every country. So let's get some of those LE groups out in from Blue Days, from who else from Grand Prix from the UK. You know, let's get you guys out there.
All the guys in Italy.
And I'd like to give kudos to the LEs in Italy, the way they handle their crowd control.
Yes,
because once they give the green light to go, they pound down the enemy and they move on, and it looks nice.
They're not taking any prisoners, that's for sure. No. Well, listen, Mad Dog, welcome to the show. Again, just to head back up to the top, Mad Dog is our newest sponsor,
yes,
for the show, and we are grateful for that. We're glad to have you
very much.
I know we've been talking about them for a couple of weeks now. Maybe we might have skipped a week in there, but people are aware of your product and the quality of your product.
You brought that up. Let's just recap it.
Well, there you go. I was hoping you'd do that.
Let's do that because let me tell you something. And you know, I've been riding for close to 20 years. Right, and I've always, and listen, this is not because he's become a sponsor, not because of what he's doing for Back to Blue. This is really a true, amazing helmet. I've always battled with every type of motorcycle helmet I've ever wore. Every time. I've never found the right fit. I've never found the right weight. I've never been comfortable in any type of helmet in the last 20 years. Not only that, the one thing that does piss me off with helmets too is the locking mechanism, the chin strap. Because if I jump off at the store, I got to untangle it. I got to do my wife's. It's really a pain in the ass. And every biker out there who puts on a helmet knows the trials and tribulations that go along with it. And you know, Mad Dog, this Microdot is the most comfortable and the most efficient helmet I've ever seen on the market.
Well, it is, and here's my thought behind the whole process, because they are comfortable, and again, safety is not the paramount reason why you buy one of my helmets. It's style and comfort. Now, it is fully DOT. They fit in your saddlebags, but the thing about a Microdot helmet is, again, they're 1 inch thick from the inside to the outside, and that exceeds the minimum requirement by DOT. And if I can get one guy who normally doesn't wear a helmet. Now, we're in a non-helmet law state. A lot of states don't have helmet laws. And guys don't like wearing helmets because they're hot, they're heavy, and they itch.
Right.
And so this overcomes every reason why you don't wear a helmet. And if I can get one guy to have one of my helmets on when he goes down and I save a life, I've done a good job. And it's not a $500 show. It's not going to protect you the same. But I guarantee that my helmet on your head at 80 miles an hour or even 35 miles an hour, which is typical, is a heck of a lot better than a Shoei that's sitting in your garage because you're not wearing the thing.
Plus, you guarantee your helmets also.
Well, I've got a free replacement policy, which is if you damage the helmet in a verifiable accident, you send me the helmet and you send me a copy of the police report, I ship you a new helmet. Now, all it does is cost you the shipping costs, a little bit of handling costs, but you get a free helmet out of the deal, and all you do is get it back to me. Now, you can't forget that you put it on and let it skip across the parking lot because it fell off the back of your bike. You know, that didn't work.
That's why we want some documentation.
Right. But you also got a lifetime warranty on the safety features. But the thing about these helmets is they're not hot, they don't itch. There's none lighter, there's none smaller. There's some imitations out there, but ours are the original Microdot helmet company, and you can't. In our customer service is second to none because we contact each and every purchaser to find out and verify their actual head measurement. Now, one thing people need to know real quick is most helmet companies, they go from 20 inches to 25 inches, and they got 5 sizes. And that's from small to 2 extra large. Because our helmets are as thin as they are, it's important to get a precise fit. And so we take that same size range, that same 5-inch size range, and we break it into 7 sizes. And so when somebody orders a helmet, they may have been wearing, the last 3 helmets may have been large, but you may be a medium in this one.
Right.
And so it's really important that you measure your head. And if you don't have one of these tailor's tapes, do not use a metal carpenter's tape. It doesn't work. But use your telephone power cord because it doesn't stretch. Wrap it around your head and get a nice, just a perfect measurement, and then lay it out on a tape, measure it, and find out the length of it, and that's your measurement. And then order accordingly. And if you're in between sizes, well, then we got a formula for that as well. It's all it's all on the website, and I got lots of videos out there.
YouTube videos.
So go to YouTube video and search for Microdot Helmet Company and watch some of these videos I have about which is the best helmet that fits your head shape. How do you actually size for your head, and how does it fit? Because some people think it's not fitting when it actually fits perfect. Right.
Now you also took it a step further. Not only did you make it lightweight, comfortable, durable, exceeded DOT standards. Every biker has a problem with the chin strap. So you formulated a chin strap, that quick release chin strap that makes it easy for everybody.
With all the attributes that these helmets have, the one thing people love the most is that quick release chin strap. And I mean, and that's a great feature because, I mean, say you got an itch, okay? You pull up to a stoplight, you take it off, scratch your itch, put it back on in a matter of a couple seconds. Meanwhile, your riding partner's still trying to get his off when the light turns green.
Right.
And he's left just trying to wiggle a helmet and scratch it through the helmet. We all know that just makes it worse. It doesn't make it any better. So, but it is just easy on, easy off, and that's just a great attribute that these helmets have.
The other thing with guys that are not in Texas, because a lot of guys in Texas, because of the heat, we're not a lot of people wear thick gloves, right? So, for the guys in New York that are wearing those heavy gloves during the winter months, during those colder days, right? This quick release allows you to remove your helmet without removing your gloves.
That's true.
It's so much easier when you have a thick pair of leather gloves on to hit that quick release, comes right off, and to snap it back on instead of taking off your leather every time. So that's another aspect for guys that live in some colder areas of the country that ride all year round.
So, Mad Dog, tell us again where your particular Back to Blue event is going to start.
It's going to start at Skoot Dog Motorcycle Leather and Gear, or Microdot Helmet Company also. It's going to be at 780 West Debbie Lane, and it's right across the street from a place called Fat Daddy's. And a lot of people in Tarrant County know Fat Daddy's. That's a live music venue. And we're going to meet there at 10 o'clock. We're going to be kickstands up.
That's in Mansfield, right?
That's in Mansfield. And we're going to kickstands up about 10:45, maybe 11, because it's not that long a ride over to Tarrant County. And so we're just going to take a nice slow cruise to Tarrant County and wrap Tarrant County, maybe get down to the stockyards and then back up and be on the steps at 12 o'clock, high noon.
So for those of you that listen to the 99% Radio Network and over in Tarrant County, hook up with Mad Dog Mike at Microdot Helmets over in Mansfield on Saturday?
Yep, Saturday, August 8th. August 8th.
August 8th.
Okay, I get it right. Got too many events going on, but I was close. I was in the ballpark. And come out and support Back the Blue. And I know that he would appreciate it, and we appreciate your support of the show.
Great.
We're glad to have you on as a
Appreciate what you guys are
sponsor.
doing.
Very
Yes,
much,
sir.
brother. I appreciate it.
God bless you guys. Ride safe.
You too, man.
Yes,
And
take care.
like I said, all that information for the ride in August will be on our webpage. It will be on the Mad Radio page. It will be on the Badge of Honor page. It will be on the 99% Radio page. And we will also promote this on the Walk the Bridge page, because Walk the Bridge backs the blue just as much as Mad Radio 99 and a Badge of Honor. So we're gonna put this on the pages, and we expect everybody to at least share it 3 times. When we put it on our pages, share it 3 times. So if we got all these listeners out there and we got all these followers out there, you know what? We can really get the word out to everybody in every city about this epic event that's going to happen on August 8th throughout the nation, and especially right here in Tarrant County. So we want to see everybody come out full force, flags attached to your bike, attached to your car, attached to your tractor. Raise them high, be proud of America, and support Mad Dog and Microdot, and support our blue. So thank you once again, brother. Appreciate it.
God bless, guys.
God
Look
bless
forward
you.
to talking to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Take care, brother.
Man, that was I love when a show starts off like that. That is just it gives me chills to have that much passion and patriotism in the beginning of a show, because that really warms my heart. It shows that we are going to get so many people out there for this event. So, once again, man, you guys can still call in. Tell us how you feel. 214-556-6239. That's 214-556-6239.
We might be having a technical problem because I saw John F. and Walsh said he tried to call in and was unable to complete the call. But that could have been because he was with
Drunk?
He's drunk?
with Bud Light.
He's probably he's probably dialing on his beer can. He's going, why ain't this thing working?
His Maxwell Smart Shoe.
You got to get Abby out there. Abby will help him. Abby will help him dial a phone. John's a little hard. And since I brought up Abby and John, I gotta shout out. I gotta give a big shout out to my wife Tara Tigger. Happy anniversary. We celebrated. And I'm not going to say how many years together because I probably will screw it up. But it's over 13. It's 18 together, 13 married. Happy anniversary, baby, and many more to come. So. You wanted me to give you a shout out. You told me, so I did it. Once again. All right. You hear she got bit by a dog, right?
I saw that.
I don't really want to rant on that, but I'm not. You know what? I am going to rant on the bar for one thing about law enforcement cuts, and Tara got bit at the bar by a dog, and while we were there, one of a newly patched-in member from a club was sitting behind us, and I didn't know he was newly patched in, and he came over. We started talking. I found out that he was a patched-in member. He listens to the 99, and I said, "Well, dude, you just got patched in. Where's your cut?" And he goes, "They told me to take it off at the door." I said, "What do you mean they told you to take it off the door?" He goes, "Yeah, they said they don't allow cuts in here. They don't allow, I'm not allowed to put my colors on in here." So I looked over at the bar, and there was a guy there wearing his cut.
Did that guy happen to have a diamond on his cut?
Yeah. And then I looked out onto the deck, and there were a couple of prospects out there. Same diamond, right? So I was wondering why they were allow those guys in with their cuts and their colors, but they would tell LE to remove his. Now, after some discussion, I was figuring because they figured if, the bar, Bedford Ice House, decided if they...
That slipped out.
Oops. Did it? Am I on the air?
Oh.
If they decided to tell anybody else to take off their colors, there would be an issue. But they figured, most... LEMC and officers are 99% compliable, and they will do what you ask, and they'll obey your orders and remove it without incident. So just to let you know, as an LEMC, you cannot walk into that bar.
So that would stand true for if you were a PSMC or
yes.
an
Yep.
FF or an RC or a military club, right? So it's only they only allowed the ones with the diamond on them to go in there.
Correct. Which we try to change perception in the LE community, and we try to respect all bikers.
We show respect to everybody.
We show respect to 100% of bikers, but it seems like this bar is not showing respect to our fellow law enforcement and firefighters and paramedics and veterans.
And what was the name of that bar again?
That was the Bedford Ice House.
Bedford Ice
located
House.
on Airport Freeway in Bedford, right next door to Boomers.
Ah.
Same owners, by the way. So no matter which deck you go to, because they're attached, no matter if it's Bedford Ice House or if it's Boomer Jacks, you will be asked to remove your you will be asked to remove your cut.
And there's
by
apparently a
management.
biting dog hazard there too?
Huh?
There's apparently biting dog hazards there too?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that due to legal reasons. So I have to keep my mouth shut on those.
Well, I'm not boycotting anybody, but I won't be going there anytime soon.
No, beers are cold all over.
That's
and there's
right.
a million places to drink a cold beer and eat a good wing.
That's right.
Once again,
Besides
man,
the Bedford Ice House?
Besides Bedford Ice House.
Besides there,
It was Bedford Ice House.
Bedford Ice House.
You said Bedford Ice House?
No, I did say Bedford Ice House. So there's better places. Besides, it's a tongue twister saying better places than the Bedford Ice House.
There you go.
Well, maybe they'll rethink that stupid policy.
You would think, and I get it after, but that's the Waco incident that was years and years and years ago at Twin Peaks. You can't hold every biker accountable for the actions that happened down in Waco. That was an unfortunate incident. That was something that, and if you read into it, I'm not even going to get into the politics on that. That wasn't even started by.
They have diamonds on their vest down the way.
But that wasn't even started by the diamonds on the vest. I just got to say that wasn't even started by them. That was the first round fired was not by them. I got to say. But anyway, we will move on. We got about 6 minutes before we end up going into a break. But I know 12. You wanted to bring up some stuff that is very near and dear to the motorcycle community. If you want to start with that, then we can move on. We can continue it after the break.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I just had a short rant.
Yeah, go ahead.
About
it's a rant that you should be ranting.
1 year ago, the 99% Radio Network, in association with Southern Dogs 286, Shiner, and Boone, and the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Grasshopper and Judge, we kind of started off with this. And that was the crash that killed all the members of Jarhead's MC.
Yes.
And
not all the members.
Not all the members. Of that particular
group.
chapter there.
Yes.
And 7 people lost their lives due to a drunk driver who had whose license should have been suspended. He had
illegal alien drunk driver.
Yeah, I did read that he had just gotten his temporary green card or whatever. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know the facts of that, but the dude was not right.
His
and he
priors were why he was
his
illegal.
priors, correct.
Yeah. Yep.
And then everybody
it
knows
was more than he had drugs in his system. Wasn't only alcohol. It was drugs in his system as well.
The bottom line is that shouldn't have happened.
Correct.
And then last week we get hit with this, and I found out today, and this is what really
what he's holding up, because I don't know if you could see it because it's black and white, but that's the Blue Line Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club that was celebrating their birthday, their anniversary near Kerrville, Texas, up in the hill country. And which is usually a pretty beautiful ride. It's safe. It's if you have never been down in the hill country, it is a beautiful ride. So I can't, these men and women that were celebrating were probably really enjoying that beautiful Saturday, and the nice sun and the whole bit. It's horrible.
Well, what really pissed me off is, and I didn't know this until today. I'd seen the story and followed it, but I didn't know until today that the dude was an illegal alien. Okay, now that pisses me off because that's preventable.
That's confirmed. Okay.
I read it on the news. It says
not CNN, right?
No, on Fox News. Right
okay,
there,
so that it's true.
Illegal, another illegal, and I don't know how many times does this shit have to happen before we start holding the people that allow it to happen responsible. Okay? Frankly, I do not hold our president responsible because he's done everything he can to give us border security. Okay? If you are here, you are a criminal. I get people come here to work. I understand all the arguments. Been hearing them for years. All right? But this shit right here is not acceptable. If you are an illegal in this country, especially if you're here not just trying to feed your family, I'll give some slack there, to be honest, okay? But if you're a criminal and you're in this country illegally, you need to get the F out, okay? You need to be put on a plane and flown out.
He's been multiple times for
he's got a record.
See, and here's where the problem lies right there. He's been locked up for DUI once before. He's illegal. Why wasn't he deported
because that happened under the Obama era, and he did not fit their criteria for deportation and thus got to stay.
So by allowing this man to stay in this country after committing a crime, we allowed him to kill 3 members, veterans and law enforcement
and injure
members,
9 more.
and critically injure 9 more. So what do you think we're going to deport him now, or do you think we're just going to keep him housed in our jails?
I got a good feeling after he finishes serving multiple years in prison, he'll be on the first plane back to Mexico. If unless the country goes to shit in a handbasket under a democratic regime. Just depends.
Well, let's hope he does jail time, because you know how our district attorneys throughout the country are, and letting people out with bail reform.
Thank God it did happen in Texas.
Right, because if this would have happened in New York, he would have been already out on the streets.
Yeah, I expect he will do some jail time, and I know I have heard a rumor. I don't want to say from who I heard it, but that some of the North Texas 99% clubs have been talking about doing another fundraiser,
yes.
And I'm sure that we'll hear something here about that.
Well,
but this is just bullshit,
yes.
And people should complain. Hold these Democrats that allow these open border policies to remain in place, and they keep the president and the government from enforcing them, from building the wall, always throwing up all these roadblocks. Time to hold them accountable for this. This blood is on their hands.
Correct. I couldn't say it better. All right, well, this is 99% Radio Network. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for more ranting and the monologue right after this.
Hi, I'm King Charles. This is D Speaks, and I am Dr. Tanisha Guy,
host of King Charles Topic of the Week, 2019 Show of the Year. Tune in every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network, #1 in the world. This is the home of Real Talk Radio, real topics, real issue, real life, right here. Don't miss it. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central on FishbowlRadioNetwork.com.
Jump in. Wait, I was supposed to go first. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just jump in.
Podcasters and internet radio hosts, it's time to take your show to the next level. Hi, my name is Sammy G, a 30-plus year radio broadcasting veteran, public speaker, and voiceover artist. And for the last 11 years, now the proud owner of Fishbowl Radio Network, the largest and most listened to streaming platform and radio station facility of its kind. 2 years ago, I created a proprietary system to help podcasters and internet radio hosts learn how to program their show like the pros, build a constantly growing and loyal fan base, and monetize their show. I teach this system every 6 weeks via Zoom to individuals all over the world. The Behind the Mic Masterclass is 6 one-hour classes that will finally take your show to the next level. Call today, 817-633-4880, 817-633-4880, and reserve your seat for the next Behind the Mic Masterclass.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. Jump in.
Back to the 99% Radio Network, broadcasting you live from the Fishbowl Radio Network studios here in Arlington, Texas. Globe Life Park, the heart of the entertainment district. Welcome back, Mongo and 12. We just had Mad Dog Mike talking about his actually now his worldwide Back to Blue event that will be on August 8th. Please visit Mad Dog Mike's website. We will have that up on our webpage very soon, and you can check that out. And that's going to be a Saturday event. It's going to be a great time for all motorcycle enthusiasts, LEMCs, cagers, tractor drivers, man, whatever you got, get down to your county courthouse. So 12 man, welcome back. And we were discussing, our fallen brothers for a minute. And we want to, just give a shout out to Blue Line Law Enforcement on our thoughts, our hearts and prayers. And we want to shout out for a speedy recovery for the 9 that are injured. And whatever we can do, please reach out. We will do our best to help you out in whatever we can. So if you know a member of that was injured in that horrific motorcycle accident down in by Kerrville, please have them reach out to the 99% Radio Network. We'd be more than happy to see
help
how
in
we
any
can
way.
help in any way. Fundraisers, escorts. We're here in Texas. We will make it work. We have the networking ability to help you guys out. With that being said, man, Walk the Bridge, which is tonight, which is the reason we are kind of gonna cut our show by an hour. But man, the momentum for Walk the Bridge has tripled in the last few weeks with amazing news, amazing support, and the people behind this mission for post-traumatic stress injury in our veteran and our first responder communities has risen 12-fold, 15-fold. Tell us a little about what's going on with Walk the Bridge. 12.
So this is really good news, and with all the crap going on around us, it's good to talk about this because, like you said, we are getting some stuff done. First off, I want to set the record straight, and I want to say to everybody that's listening, the person responsible for the effort to name the bridge, and actually the name of the bridge is Sideshow. And as things often happen with the 99% Radio Network and Third Watch and so on, when we come up with these ideas, it happens when you're sitting around shooting the shit over a beer. And Sideshow, in one of those moments, said, well, because we have a plan. We've always had a plan. We just didn't always have components to the plan. But the plan was always to begin by raising awareness, right? That was the first leg.
Well, let's take it back a step further. The person responsible for us walking the bridge to raise awareness, the original idea for all of the people that have participated over the past year, was Bear from Third Watch LEMC.
Yes. Barry Morse. So, and thank you for bringing that up. So, going way back to early 2018, summer of 2018, sitting around having a beer, talking about how we might recognize this epidemic, because we were seeing it, all the cops, taking their own lives, all the first responders,
and the veterans too.
So we wanted to do something about it, and Bear was inspired and came up with the idea that became hashtag Walk the Bridge. And then Sideshow, in a later discussion, said, we're raising awareness now with our efforts, and we're planning. At the time, we were planning the very first Hands Across the Bridge event. Well, maybe we could identify a place that draws attention to this. And I don't know if that's the best way to articulate it, but
instead of just Highway 66, and what really and like what brought us here today is no individual. It's a collaborative effort between a group of like-minded people who wanted to change the stigma and end suicide. So, Barry Morris, Bear, sitting around, came up with an idea. Let's walk for awareness. Let's do something as a community to fight this, right? Let's do something. So he brought up the idea of walking the bridge, right? In October of 2018, we had 11 people that came out and supported this idea. And through many efforts, through so many people, we kept raising the awareness level, sharing, networking, discussing, talking, and this mission has just grown bigger and bigger and bigger.
And you're trying to get me off track. I know you because you're a humble guy, but you came up with the idea to call it hashtag Walk the Bridge because it would get people's attention. Over 4 million people have at least one time, because we've looked, at least 4 million people around the world have heard of hashtag Walk the Bridge. So
Tell them why we do it on the 22nd.
And we do it on the 22nd because it's symbolic. We walk a symbolic 22 miles. If we have more than 11 people,
Right.
we hit that 22-mile mark because it's in honor and memory of the roughly 22 veterans that complete suicide a day. So then a little later on, you came up with the idea of, hey, let's call it Heroes Bridge. So a whole bunch of people got involved. Caregiver Chris Kazar from the V-Rock, Third Watch, definitely involved. Sergeant Major John Vick from Senator Bob Hall's office, Representative Retta Bowers. We've had both of them all three of them in the studio signed on to this, and a multitude of other people. Too many to mention, but at some point we'll give them all the kudos.
Right.
So we take on this effort. The aforementioned people take on this effort to name the Highway 66 bridge between Rowlett and Rockwall Heroes Bridge. And it's been an ongoing process. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. Karen from Blue Help noticed that we faithfully walk the bridge every month. And Blue Help is now an equal partner.
Right. And let's give Blue Help the recognition that, no one was tracking law enforcement suicides years back, right? And Karen Solomon and her team seen a need for this to be done, to show what post-traumatic stress is doing to our first responders. So she began tracking the law enforcement suicides throughout the nation, and now Blue Help is the largest tracker of law enforcement suicides in the nation, and we are proud to have her. They have contributed so much so far, and a lot more to be contributed. But it's great to have her as a partner on this on this ongoing effort.
Yep. So to kind of bring us up to date, we approached Sergeant Major Vick and Senator Hall and got them to help, and the ball has just snowballed. Well, it ended with a resolution, a state of Texas state Senate state representative resolution in support of naming the Highway 66 bridge between Rowlett and Rockwall Heroes Bridge. And caregiver Chris Kazar of the V-Rock and Life Message, he took up of the committee that was kind of
working
the ball. He took the ball to make sure that these political connections kind of fell into place. And there's more to come. But
I gotta add one kudos to Chris on this, because we started this ball rolling, but it didn't actually get a big fire under it until late February, early March. Chris Kazar got a name change of a highway, how jumping through hoops through this COVID pandemic, he was able to secure the signatures needed. He was able to secure the time slots for our political leaders to come together and do this. He got this done during a pandemic, which I think makes it even more astounding that with his perseverance and his love for Walk the Bridge, he got these politicians to say, well, we're not putting it aside. We're not putting it aside during COVID. He was that determined to make sure that this happened for the Third Watch Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, because he knew what it meant to us.
Yeah. So the other night, Monday night.
Sorry, I just had to throw my.
That's okay. I mean, it's kind of like making sausage. It hasn't all been pretty, but it sure tastes good when you eat it.
To do it in a pandemic, man, another notch for Chris Kazar.
Absolutely. So this past Monday night, we got the word from John Vick who, to his credit, he got all of this stuff done in about a day, is what it seemed like, because I think we got told on Friday or Saturday to be there Monday. And this is the first public thing. There's other things lined up behind it that I won't mention yet because it hadn't happened, but it's going to. But publicly, the Rockwall City Council voted unanimously in favor of the resolution supporting the name change. And I guess to make a long story short, on September 26th, at somewhere in that vicinity of Heroes Bridge, there will be a large gathering for the unveiling of that
new name, yeah.
of the new name of the bridge, which will be called Heroes Bridge, and that's the first pillar, if you will, of identifying a place that can become a place of reflection and remembrance. Not a place to glorify suicide,
right,
but a place where families of officers that have completed suicide or veterans that have completed suicide could come and honor their family member, the service to community or to country of that family member. And I can't tell you how happy I am about it. We got a rendering to give something besides just the letters Heroes Bridge. Randy Kirby of Illuma Graphics in Wiley knocked it out of the park. If you haven't seen
on
it,
that first shot,
we'll post it up again on our Facebook page. It'll be on the Walk the Bridge page. It'll be on our Facebook page. It's a great job.
It is,
and it perfectly encapsulates the spirit of hashtag Walk the Bridge.
You can look at logos and be like, oh yeah, that's a logo. You look at that logo that he designed, and you feel the emotion in that. He really did it's not just a logo, man. It's like
badass.
Said,
it makes it. You can identify.
You feel it. Yes.
Those of us that are involved in it know right away. You get what that is, and it was perfect. Didn't have to look at it more than just a minute to know. Boom! He just hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. He hit a walk off. It was great.
Yep.
And so we're looking forward to that event. There will be people literally coming from all around the country. It's begun to draw some national attention, and that's probably all I should probably say about that for now. But we're very excited about it. Mongo and I will be bailing out here
shortly.
Well,
you got about an hour.
To head back to Rowlett and Rockwall to make our commitment there, and we'll meet up with the other faithful bridge walkers here in just a little while. But it's very exciting, and it's good. It's good for hashtag Walk the Bridge. It's good for the awareness component of our mission. We've already got the providing support component with the counseling being provided, the training that you
from a badge of honor and Survive First badge of honor, or Trauma Behind a Badge. This has really grown to such a huge networking phenomenon, because we've met so many great people who want to have the same passion to help. And when you have that many people in Florida, we had Survive First in Florida. We have Oklahoma. We have Trauma Behind a Badge. We have South Carolina. Travis Howes, who's a comedian and wrote a book, and he's a firefighter who's gone through this, and he's willing. So we're covering all corners of the country with these great vetted, and when I say vetted, I mean substantial organizations that will help first responders and veterans.
There is one other thing I can say about it that's very important.
Okay.
So it's no secret, we talked about it on the air before, that one of our goals in this is to obtain a state and or a national designation, landmark designation for what we are, because right now there is there are people that occasionally do something similar. 22 kills out there, they have rides, and
right.
So there's some similar things, but no one is doing what we're doing, combining all three of those elements at this stage.
Right.
So I was told yesterday that come January, when the Texas House and Senate reconvenes, this resolution will be codified, and it gives you a designation. Now, it doesn't say landmark designation, but it is a designation that the state designates that forevermore.
For first responders and veterans.
This bridge will be known as Heroes Bridge.
Yes.
And it designates that. It makes it something.
See, and you know,
which is very significant towards that next step of a landmark designation as a one-of-a-kind in the nation place. And think about this, Rowlett, Rockwall, and Lake Ray Hubbard. It's coming to your backyard.
And you know, when you bring up 22 Kill and you bring up all these organizations, you know, law enforcement and veterans, when they take their own life due to post-traumatic stress, okay, they aren't given an inspector's funeral. They aren't given the services. They don't look at the way the person lived. They just look at the way the person died.
Right.
All right, and the death is from those injuries. This place now, this bridge, is exactly that. It's a place for families of those members, those law enforcement and veteran members, to come and get closure and to reflect and to remember what their spouses fought for and died for, and get a little bit of healing going on. So that's what makes also the bridge so significant in what we do every day.
Yep. So 22nd of every month, if you're listening and you should desire to come out and support tonight, bring your mask. You can even wear it if you want to. Bring your hand sanitizer, social distance, do whatever you feel, but we'll be out there doing what we do to represent our first responders and our veterans, and we'll be doing it continuously every month until we reach the 26th of September, when we'll have this event. And I know we'll have much more to say about it, but that's probably as much as we should say about it right now.
Yeah, but you know what? There's going to be so much stuff coming up. So don't forget to check out the website, www.walkthebridge.org. All right, we will keep it regularly updated on events and everything that's going on. Man, the next few months are going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I know all our supporters are looking forward to it.
Can you pin that on the bottom of there, just in case people want to take a look at it?
I will pin that to the bottom. But in the spirit of things, we can never let the Mongo log go undone. So since we're going to be cutting this off in about 45 minutes, and I think he can read this in 45 minutes, and we could discuss it, let's bring on the Mongo log.
So
Mongo! Santa Maria!
I'll believe it. And maybe one of you friends and neighbors kind of gather around and... Holy shit!
Here comes Mongo!
What were you going to say before my theme music interrupted you?
Move over a little bit. Just move over. You slid this way, so move closer to 12 because you're coming off camera view there.
I just know this is going to be a good one, and I was going to say 214-556-6239 if you want to call in at the conclusion of the Mongolog and comment on it, because I think you're going to want to.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here we go. So this week I had to take a break from what's going on in the world of our politics and insanity taking place in our streets. The more I watch the news, the more angry I become at what's going on, what's not being done, and what is being done. It's all about COVID-19 and the usual but predictable constant bad news on the news channels. Now here's the thing about me. I'm a news junkie and a sports junkie. I could give a rat's ass about network TV programming, sitcoms, dramas, or even for that matter movies. Don't get me wrong, there have been continuing series over the years that I've enjoyed watching, such as The Sopranos, Dexter, Ray Donovan, Ozark, and I do like the occasional documentary. But for the most part, when my TVs turned off, they are turned on a news channel. When they come back on, they're on a news channel. The news, unfortunately, is something that will always be needed and will be broadcast. As I've said before, good news just doesn't sell. So I understand why the news channels broadcast what they do. If it bleeds, it leads. And the most news networks are going to take whatever story they have and they're going to spin it the way they want to tell it. I have a hard time watching CNN and MSNBC. I find those channels to be more with the comedy channel than with any news network. Watching the CNN anchors' expressionless, lifeless faces while they are listening to their guests give an explanation to anything amazes me. In all seriousness, when I see their faces while they are listening to their guests speak, it looks to me as if they have had a lobotomy. Their faces are expressionless. They have their heads slightly tilted to the side, and they're looking at the teleprompter with dead eyes. Except for the lack of decay, they appear to be zombies. Now, as I said, my other passion to waste time watching TV is by watching sports. Now, this monologue asked the question, do we really need professional sports? A person who loves sports as an entertainment outlet is highly interested in one or more sports or sports teams. At home, there is the possibility that a sports fanatic will stare into a trance in front of the TV as if they were a CNN news anchor. What motivates people to wear expensive merchandise in order to serve as a walking billboard for multi-billion-dollar corporations with multi-millionaire employees, and then get into heated discussions about which all-time player was better or which team will make a move on to the championships? Clearly, there's a lot of psychology at work, and much of it involves the self. It has been well established that people derive self-esteem benefits from simple associations with successful others. Research has shown that people are more likely to wear sports-related apparel following a team victory than following team losses. And they're more likely to use first-person pronouns to describe victories, such as, our offense was great today. They tend to use third-person pronouns to describe losses, such as, they couldn't score a run if their life depended on it. Our need to increase our sense of self-worth leads us to seek broad connections, and this not only plays out in terms of sports team identification, but in our sense of connection to various phenomena ranging from favorite authors to nationalism. For example, chants of USA were heard everywhere as the U.S. women's national soccer team won the the World Cup. Even non-soccer fans were basking in the reflected glory of the women's success on the biggest soccer stage and extending their connection with the team to nationalism. I was once a fan of U.S. women's soccer national team. However, now that they've decided to take knees for the national anthem and walk on our American flag after victories, it's made me lose interest in anything they may do in the future. For most people, the need to belong is even more powerful than the desire for self-esteem. Simply put, social connectiveness is a critical human need, and one way we establish it is through symbolic affiliations with others. For example, walking down the streets in Cincinnati, a Yankees fan wearing a Yankees ball cap or a t-shirt, when he comes across others wearing Yankees jersey or cap, could feel a sense of instant connectedness with complete strangers because of their symbolic connection to a greater identity. The salient of this shared connectedness becomes even stronger in situations where other identities are present. Research studies on children identities has demonstrated that boys and girls identify more strongly with their gender in families where they are outnumbered by children of other genders. So Yankees fans may have felt closer to other Yankees fans in Cincinnati than they would have in the Bronx because of the shared identity were more salient in a sea of different others. Arbitrary allegiances translate into embracing larger ideologies. The power of this connectedness need is extended in many ways. Being in a collective experience with others who share a common passion is one of the greatest joys people can experience socially, whether it's attending a live concert, a political rally, or a major sporting event. Cincinnati Red fans are likely to be Red fans not because of some exhaustive and deliberative process of ascertaining their allegiance, but from something as arbitrary as being born or raised near Cincinnati. These seemingly random identifications can last a lifetime and extend into justifying equally arbitrary ideologies. For example, an example of this is two fans in a heated discussion arguing about the inherent rightness of the designated hitter rule. The designated hitter, or DH, is a designated player who bats instead of the pitcher but does not play in the field. For the uninitiated, the National League, and I'm going to change this in just a second, folks, the National League does not use the DH while the American League does. And while passionately engaged in an argument about a seemingly arbitrary issue, it's no surprise to see the person opposed to the rule is a fan of the National League team, and the fan arguing in favor of the rule is a follower of the American League team. In other words, each fan is arguing for an inherent rightness of the arbitrary rules employed by baseball leagues of their respective favorite teams. Now, a disclaimer, the DH rule changed this year because both leagues are using the DH rule, but I wrote this 3 days ago, and I didn't learn about that rule change until last night, so my bad. Why should anyone care about arbitrary rules in a professional sport that they will never play? Similar processes certainly play in more powerful ways as people adopt ideologies based on random factors such as where they were born. For example, a U.S. citizen who embraces the United States as the greatest country in the world, capitalism as inherently just, or Christianity as the one true faith probably does not realize that these convictions probably result more from their random placement on the planet than from some inherent in these frameworks of systems. In short, if this person was born in India or China, their views about the best culture, economics, or religion would be quite different. These observations are not intended to say that anyone's strongly held beliefs, ranging from sports team allegiances, or religious preferences, have less meaning or validity. Indeed, having self-worth, a sense of greater social connectedness, a belief system that we hold passionately represents some of those meaningful aspects of life. Yet at the same time, observing these processes play out in seemingly less important domains like professional sports should remind us to be mindful of how these basic psychological processes operate in other domains of our lives and why we should guard against allowing our allegiances and belief systems to run amok over others. Being a sports fan is part of who many of us are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite team and the sports we love. Political activism within the professional sporting arena is not a new occurrence. This has been taking place for hundreds of years in various forms. In the case of the NFL, let's just look at some very recent hypocrisy regarding free speech. In 2012, the NFL had an issue with Tim Tebow kneeling for each game to pray. They also had an issue with Tim Tebow wearing the phrase John 3:16 as part of his eye blackout to avoid glare, and made him take it off. Tim Tebow never knelt. I got distracted. Tim Tebow never knelt during the national anthem, and he's disappointed that sports writers have continued to state that story, contrary to the facts. He went on to explain that he has not used it as a touchdown celebration when he took the knee. It was something that he had been doing since his sophomore year in high school, to thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and put things into perspective. He said it was never something that he did to take away from somebody else. It was just something that he did with his personal relationship with God. In 2013, the NFL fined Brandon Marshall for wearing green cleats to raise awareness for people with mental disorders. In 2014, Robert Griffin III, RG3, entered a post-game press conference wearing a shirt that said, "No Jesus, no peace," but was forced to turn it inside out by the NFL uniform inspector before speaking at the podium. In 2015, D'Angelo Williams was fined for wearing Find the Cure eye black for breast cancer awareness. In 2015, William Gay was fined for wearing purple cleats to raise awareness for domestic violence. Not that the NFL has a domestic violence problem. In 2016, the NFL prevented the Dallas Cowboys from wearing a decal on their helmet in honor of the 5 Dallas police officers killed in the line of duty. In 2016, the NFL threatened to fine players who wanted to wear cleats to commemorate the 15th anniversary of 9/11. The most recent and ongoing occurrence occurred August 26, 2016, when San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, and I said his name right, refused to stand for the national anthem before his preseason debut against the Green Bay Packers. He stated, "I'm not going to stand up and show pride in a flag for a country that opposes black people and people of color." He said after the game, "To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way." So now all of a sudden the NFL has support for free speech and expressions in all forms. My personal feeling with regard to the controversy in professional sports is this: if you are wearing a uniform that bears the seal or shield of your professional league, you are a representative of that league. As a representative of that league, you are bound by the league rules. If the league says you may not speak on certain subjects or act in a certain manner while you are in uniform, then those are the rules of your league and must be followed. You're under no obligation to continue your employment within that league. If you feel strongly about to exercise your First Amendment right to free speech, as a player within that league, you are an employee bound by company policy. The league has kowtowed to the minority in the interest of social justice. These on-field protests have pissed off a lot of loyal fans and patriotic Americans. I don't have a problem with players who take to the podium after their contests and either answer questions from reporters or make statements, even if those statements are social justice statements that I may not agree with. There's no reason that the league shouldn't tell these players, Here are the rules. This is what is expected of you. Obey the rules. Play your game to the best of your ability, and after the game, talk to the media. I seriously doubt if Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the NFL from 1960 and 1989, would tolerate any of the antics or bullshit that occurs today. He oversaw the expansion of the league from 12 to 28 teams, introduced Monday Night Football, and orchestrated the mega TV deals that still exist today. Today's commissioner of the NFL is Roger Goodell. Goodell has been described as the most powerful man in sports. In my opinion, he's a weak leader, a puppet to the corporate sponsors, the unpopular media, and the money that he has been way overcompensated with. So what would life be like without professional sports? For many fans, whether it be about the NHL, the NBA, or MLB, they would be about 3 hours of free time every night available for more quality family time. Instead of watching the PGA, NASCAR, or NFL over the weekend, those days could easily be occupied with chores around the home, raking autumn leaves, family activities like picking apples or visiting the in-laws, social gatherings with friends where you are actually engaged in meaningful communication with each other, or even attending church and focusing on being a better you. Now, I'm trying in my mind to make it sound really boring as possible without professional sports. As loyal as you may be to your favorite team, however, your favorite team is not loyal to you. If the team owner thinks he's going to make more money in a different venue, he will pack his toys and move his team of talented, trained millionaires to a new city that provides him with a new stadium and better opportunity to collect revenue. The big money in professional sports is not in the actual stadium attendance as it once was. The big money is in lucrative TV contracts, corporate sponsorships, and apparel sales. Having bragging rights for the team that you support for winning a championship will actually get you nothing for your effort. You can't walk into Starbucks and get a free coffee because your team won the Super Bowl. Denny's will not provide you with a breakfast sampler if your team wins the World Series. The reality is, all you did was watch a group of millionaires play a game and defeat another group of millionaires at the professional level of a sport that you may have played as a child. It would be great, however, to one day during the post-game interview at the Super Bowl, when the media's in the locker room talking with the winning coach and the winning players, if the losing coach would come in for the interview, it would be refreshing to see him smiling, shaking his head, and stating into the camera, "Well, it was exciting. We're glad we made it this far, but we didn't win." Then with a smile on his face, congratulate the winning coach, tell him, "See you next year. We're on vacation for a few months." Smile into the camera and walk back out of the locker room. Now, The COVID-19 shutdown of America has shown us that we can survive without professional sports. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a sports fan. I plan to watch as much MLB, NHL, and possibly NFL that I can, if I can tolerate the douchebaggery that no doubt will take place. I've made it through the spring and most of the summer without professional sport, professional hockey, or baseball, and I'm still around to talk about it. Preseason baseball has already started off on the wrong foot.
Actually, they're out. The Rangers are out here practicing right outside our studio.
I just looked out the window before the show started and saw those guys out there. Yeah. Although they got their butts kicked last night, and I watched that game. They've gotten off on the wrong foot as far as I'm concerned. Members of the San Francisco Giants took a knee during the national anthem. Except for pissing off Americans and possibly even some non-American fans, taking a knee during the national anthem accomplishes nothing. What I think will hurt me the most is the potential loss of NCAA competition. I find NCAA competition to be a better representation of any sport than the professionals. The professionals are being paid to play their game. Once these athletes make it to the professional level and get their contracts, the laziness and the injuries tend to set in with many of them, as well as the attitudes. The collegiate athletes are trying their best to make it to the next level and become paid professionals. College athletics has the element of school pride, tradition, and excellence that the players and coaches tend to live up to. Collegiate coaches tend to have more control and influence over the players because the players know that if they want to get to the next level, they have to be on the field to showcase their talents. If they piss off their coach at the college level and he keeps them benched, there's another player that will fill their void and take advantage of the opportunity in an effort to move up to the professional level. Now, before everyone gets mad at me, not all players that make it to the professional level become lazy scumbags. The problem is even the players that want to showcase their talents and give their best effort must sometimes play with overpaid douchebags that are being lazy. The professional team owners are slaves to the corporate sponsors who pay them generously to advertise and pay for the naming rights to the various stadiums. To the corporate sponsors, I have no respect for you, nor do I have any need for you. When I watch sporting events on television, I record the event and watch it on delay. By doing it this way, I can fast forward through the commercials and cut down my downtime sitting on my ass watching dumb sports. Commercials do nothing for me except keep me occupied for extended hours of time. Of course, the downside to watching sports in this manner is the inevitable text message from my son asking me if I just saw that play and celebrating the last-minute touchdowns and interceptions or home runs. Watching sports in this manner also disciplines me to put my phone on silent and turn it upside down and stay off of Facebook, because every fan out there has to post that their team just won or lost. I've never been a fan of professional basketball except for the playoffs when the Showtime Lakers were there every year in the playoffs. This year, I absolutely refuse to watch any of the remaining season of NBA. The fact that the NBA commissioner will allow their players to wear social justice messages on their jersey instead of their names is offensive to me. I'm also offended that the NBA has sold out to the Chinese government. At this point, professional sports are like a narcotic drug to me. I think about them all the time. I know that in principle I shouldn't watch them. I also know that in reality I will watch them because I want to watch them. Professional sports, however, are getting very close to the point in my life where I can put them down and walk away. As much as it hurts me to put down and walk away from the prescribed narcotic drugs that my doctors had me hooked on. I made the decision one day to quit using them, and I never looked back. Professional sports, in my opinion, are at this point still a part of my life. I do enjoy them, but I know I can live without them. And that, my friends, is that. My name is Mongo. I drink whiskey, I smoke cigars, and I know things. Mongo is out.
Candygram for Mongo. Candygram for Mongo. Hey, Mongo. Sign, please. Thank you.
Mongo like candy.
Man, another wonderful Mongo log by Mongo. Thank you, brother. That was amazing as always. You know, you bring up the NBA, but the NFL just did the same thing that they can put.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the NFL they passed it this morning that they can put social justice. They could put those who were killed through police brutality on their helmets. Now, this is the same NFL who would not allow the Cowboys to place a star sticker on their helmet to remember the lives of the 5 officers that were killed here in Dallas. So they wouldn't allow that to happen.
So can you put Blue Lives Matter on your helmet, or your jersey? You can put something like that.
I don't know what. No, I don't know. They're allowing this now. The NFL passed that you're allowed to put names and symbols of those who were affected by police brutality on your jersey.
I guess you can put the name of the cops, the black police officers that were killed by black members of.
I didn't read the whole thing. Jesus. I just know that's where let's get politics out of sports. People want to watch sports, not politics. If they want to watch politics, they'll turn on Fox, they'll turn on CNN, they'll turn on NPR, they'll turn on any of that. We got to get politics out of sports.
That's why people are watching sports, to get away from all the other bullshit.
That's right.
Just for 3 hours.
I mean, even NASCAR now. Has bowed to this political outrage. I mean, listen, they got a Black Lives Matter car. They got a Blue Lives Matter car. Just get cars that don't represent anything political, man. Why you got to make political statements on your car?
Well, because you can't put alcohol, you can't put cigars or cigarettes, because we got a bunch of snowflakes running things.
It's crazy that anytime you got just start of the game through the national anthem where everybody's supposed to be standing up and, feeling patriotic, you got to look down at the field and see some guys kneeling because they want to make a statement. Then you got to watch NASCAR and you got to watch these cars, Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. What happens if the Blue Lives Matter puts the Black Lives Matter car into the wall? Is it going to be racial injustice? Are we going to burn down the track?
I want a Deja Vu strip club to sponsor a car. Just have hundreds of beautiful women and 3 ugly ones on the side of their car.
It's like in 3D.
It's getting crazy.
So you know how crazy it's getting. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to burn any bridges. But we talk to a lot of sponsors, right, and have dealings with a lot of different sponsors. So I was talking to one who is definitely conservative the other day. He works for a sponsor, and he said that in a recent shakeup there was some new people that came into the office. And whereas in the past they might have supported a law enforcement event or a Back the Blue event, the new folks in the office, they want to support, like, and there's nothing wrong with it. If this is what you want, it's just to make this point. Like, they want to support, like, LGBT events, like to go and sponsor them. Like, okay, say for example, we would do an EOFR and we would go someplace and honor a police officer and bring him up and, you know, give him a nice recognition, state some of the stuff that he has done. They want to go and, instead of, you know, they want to go and, I don't know exactly how they might do that. I don't know if they've thought it through all the way, and I don't want to speculate on how they might do that. But they want to go and advertise in that instead of with that. Well, which I just found kind of. It's okay if they want to do it. I don't got a beef with it. I'm just saying it's just to the point
they change their narrative. And that's fine.
They not the one. Oh, this is not allowed. You know, and this is where, you know, we're gonna bring all these supposed groups that are downtrodden, and you know, when they don't ever met. And this is a serious point. I saw this commercial on TV for Black Lives Matter, and it says, until Black Lives Matter, no lives can matter. And I'm thinking, you know, if you listen to this whole commercial, I'm thinking about, what about all the Jewish people?
Right.
What about all the Jewish people?
Well, the Irish.
And the Irish before them, who were slaves, before the
Egyptians.
Exactly.
I get it.
I'm like, come on. This is why history matters. This is why facts matter. This is why people should read history, not destroy it, not pull down the statues, because let's get the full picture out there.
Right.
You know, all lives matter.
Right.
All Black lives matter, but all lives matter. Let's it's just getting stupid.
Well, with all the lives matter, I do have to give a quick promo, if you don't mind.
No.
All right. The Omega Gamma Delta fraternity out of Frisco, Joey Morrow, has put together a Back to Blue event, and he's got a lot of people involved in this. If you check out the Toyota Stadium at 9200 World Cup Way in Frisco on July 30th at 3 p.m., look for the event on your Facebook page and like it, and go there and share it, because this is going to be an amazing event. It's in the south parking lot of Sienna Blue parking lot over at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, and this is going to happen July 30th. And you know what's going? They are going to fill this parking lot with Back to Blue supporters. And if Joey, if you are listening, if you want to give a quick call in and just let anybody know, it's 214-556-6239. It's 214-556-6239. The Omega Gamma Delta fraternities throughout the country have been doing a lot of Back to Blue events. Got to give them big kudos for that. Because a lot of those guys are first responders or military veterans, and they support each other. And especially in New York, the New York fraternities have been really coming out and showing force for Back to Blue. Some of the Back to Blue events in New York on Long Island have in Wantor 4,000 people walking the boardwalk, which is a significant amount of people to show support for our law enforcement. So do not forget July 30th at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, 9200 World Cup Way, 3 p.m. That's when the staging is going to start. It's going to be in a parking lot, South Sienna Blue. So meet there. There's going to be a lot of events going on during that day, a lot of big public speakers. So come on out. So I had to bring that up. I wanted to share that with our audience for this upcoming event for the Omega Gamma Delta fraternity. So thank you for letting me do that.
214-556-6239. We really would like to hear from y'all. I thought the Mongolog, again, spot on, Mongo. Good job. That wasn't actually what I thought it was going to be. I thought you were going to do the one on all sports names, sport team names are racist, but that was very good. Well done. So if you would like to hear from you, our audience, if you have some feedback, want to talk about the Mongolog.
There's got to be a lot of people I hear are so pissed off at the whole sports world.
I'm depressed now. I really didn't watch any news today because I had stuff going on before I came down to the studio. But I didn't know about the NFL.
Yeah, they passed it. They passed it. And, like I said, it's just get politics out of sports. You know, people don't want to watch it. And a lot of people are now boycotting the sports. They don't want to. And people enjoy sports, man. It's a Sunday to get out, drink beer, eat hot dogs, you know, win some money on some bets. You know, are we going to start horse racing? Are we going to start putting labels on the horses' asses? You know, is it going to go that far?
Hey,
I mean,
Mad Dog's on here. He has horses. I don't know what kind of, whether he shows them or he races them.
Yeah,
I think he races them.
Yep,
we ought to ask him about that.
Yeah. Are they going to start stamping his horse's ass with branding him with different logos? When's tennis and badminton get involved? And are we going to have the flags on golf? You know, the tee flags, and are we going to start putting stuff on there? It's getting out of control.
Yes.
It really is getting out of control. And I understand the point where you want to make you want to get your voice heard, but this is really screwing up the dynamics of the sporting world. And if now the whole focus is on that and not the game.
And if the comments that we see are any indication whatsoever, the American people, the fans, they don't want that. They just want to see a ball game. They want to go to the ball game, eat a hot dog, drink a beer, eat some peanuts.
Watch a flyover.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And have some fun. Listen, one of the greatest things we ever got to participate in was the inaugural kickoff of when the XFL was in Bean. The unfurling of the American flag and the flyover of a legit Vietnam War helicopter. Man, I had freaking goosebumps. I was so proud to stand on that field and help unfurl that flag, and it's one of the highlights of my life.
And that's what
because I'm proud of my. I don't want to hear a bunch of social justice bullshit. I know who I am, who he is, who you are. Let's just go watch a football game.
Right.
I don't want to see. I just don't want to see it.
And I know. I get it. You know, it's like that big TV at Jerry Jones's stadium. You don't watch the players anymore. You watch that stupid TV. So, you know, with all these ads and everything going on and banners at our sporting stadiums, we're not watching a game anymore. Why am I gonna pay $150 to go see the Cowboys when I and I'm gonna be inundated by stickers and different justice warriors? I just want to watch sports, man. I just want to watch a football game. I want to win some money with my bookie. I want to drink a beer. I want to have an argument about how the Raiders suck with the guy behind me or sitting next to me.
Says the man who roots for the Jets.
That's what I want, man. I want to have a fist fight in the stands over whose team is better, not what color or what banner is up or who I support.
Well, I'll tell you what, if AOC has her way, your team will not exist, at least not under the banner of the Jets, because Jets are bad for the environment. They have to name them something else.
Mad Dog just said, no, they won't be branding the horses yet, but there is a huge protest that he heard may take place at the Kentucky Derby. Now, the Kentucky Derby, you know, are they going to start, you know, that's the most elegant horse race in the world. I mean, people come out with those big hats.
They dress to
the nines, man. Are we going to start putting banners on those big-ass ladies' hats? Are we going to make political statements on those hats? The Kentucky Derby. Come on, you're going to have a protest. Where are we not going to have protests?
You know what?
My house.
I agree with the right to peaceful protest.
Of
okay, we
course,
said a million
of
times.
course.
But for that 3 hours, just put on your uniform.
Enjoy the show.
Your Las Vegas Raiders gear. Yeah. Sit down and enjoy the game. Don't be kneeling. You know, the way, and we never did really talk about it on the show, but look what happened to Drew Brees, a stand-up guy, great quarterback, Super Bowl winner, MVP, because he said, I love America. I'm never going to kneel. I respect the flag. They literally beat him verbally into submission, and the next thing you know, he's issuing his mea culpa. Oh my God, I'm woke now. I understand, and I lost a lot of respect. Even though he's still a good dude, I lost respect for him because you said "fuck off." I said that.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry.
Did Drew Brees say that, or was that you?
No, I would have said that. Drew Brees would never say that. But it pissed me off when that whole thing happened. That guy's a good dude who got beat into submission by these guys because he loves his country, because he loves his
loves
flag.
his paycheck.
And he loves it. Well, he makes
He
a
loves
nice
his
check.
paycheck.
Yeah. Okay,
if he didn't turn that corner, if he didn't bow down, he wouldn't be getting that paycheck.
But he's a dude that look what all he did for his community. That guy's a solid dude.
I agree, and I like Drew Brees, but look what happened to Derek Carr when he wouldn't take a knee with the entire team, and the line let those guys come through and bust his leg.
I remember that game. That was against the Washington Redskins, and the Raiders had a damn good team.
You shouldn't say Washington Redskins, by the way. That's
a whole nother thing. Are we changing all the names of the teams?
It was against. They were playing the Washington then named Redskins.
And here's a good Mongologue for next week. Man, the changing of names.
Oh, no. I've got the information on all that stuff.
Let's start.
He was the only person on the team that didn't take a knee that game. And that game, and the guy that did it first, that did it twice in a row, was Donald Penn, who's no longer with the team. And this is a team that had given up 6 sacks the whole previous year. Best offensive line in football, arguably.
Then they just basically olayed
and they laid down, and all of a sudden there were like 4 or 5 sacks in a row. And he got beat to heck, and he hasn't been the same since. Nope. And you can go back, and if you doubt me, watch that game. Okay,
it was a Raider game.
It was.
I won't be watching.
Okay. But here's what I'm saying: is he stood up for what he believed, which was to respect the flag. He didn't speak out. He didn't say anything bad against the people that chose to take a knee. He just stuck to his conscience, just like Drew Brees did.
Right.
And they paid a cost. People don't want that. Just go play football. Show respect. When you get off. When you're done playing the game and you're released from your contractual obligations, walk out the stadium and say whatever the hell you want to. But until then, I don't want to see some guy wearing the name of a convicted felon on the back of their jersey praising him when you can't put the name of a black police officer who was killed by a black convicted felon in the line of duty. I don't want to see that crap. And I refuse to watch. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much turned off sports. I canceled my NFL package. I've had the NFL package for probably the last 10 years. I've had huge Super Bowl parties at my house for the last 10 years. Will not be hosting one this year. Will not be watching football this year. Like I said, I canceled the package because everything's too political. You know, I haven't been watching NASCAR. I'll do work around the house. I'll build an outdoor kitchen and party myself outside and listen to music before I turn on another sporting event.
Tell me why you think it is that there's such vitriol directed towards our law enforcement, even black police officers. They never talk about the sacrifices that they make when they're killed in the line of duty, but they will venerate these convicted felons and make saints out of them. To me, there's a big disconnect. Now, the EMS worker, the female EMS worker that was killed up in Louisville, she deserves it. She did not deserve to be killed. That was a mess from the get-go. Protest that one right. On the no-knock warrant.
Yeah.
Protest
Breonna.
that one, and you'd be right. I hated to
Breonna
see that.
Taylor
Those cops screwed up big time. But when you take
no. I gotta back you up on that because the cops did not screw up on that. They went to the right door. The right door. That was the right door. That was on the warrant.
Somebody screwed up.
That was the right location. Bad information.
And then one officer.
They didn't do the follow-up because the guy that they were actually looking for was actually in custody at the time.
Yes.
But
yes.
Now, and I haven't followed the story up, but I understand that the girl that was killed was actually doing some dealings with him at one point. I haven't followed that up, so I don't know if that's to be true.
It was a poor investigation. Yeah. It was a poor shoot. I get it, but. They
went to the address on the warrant, but the warrant.
Right, they went to the address on the warrant.
The address on the warrant shouldn't have been that address.
Okay, right, so we can agree someone screwed up.
Yes.
And an innocent woman
100%.
Lost her life. Protest that.
Yep.
So, but I'm trying to make the difference between a person like that and a convicted felon who was recently released from prison, who didn't want to go to jail and attacks 2 police officers, dies in the process. You're going to make him a saint, and that's what I don't get. And I think there's some disconnect between some of these professional athletes that do this regularly. You know,
Yep.
I'm speaking out for this person or that person, and
We
I
got
just don't
we got
get
about
it.
a minute and a half. We all know that certain politicians have sold out our law enforcement throughout the country. They are using them as pawns for political agendas and narratives and votes. So we all know that, and that's going to be online for another topic. We got about a minute. 12. Any final thoughts?
Nope. We're headed to Rowlett Rockwall to hashtag Walk the Bridge.
Yes, if you're out there in the Rockwall, Rowlett area and you're available, come on out, bring your mask and social distance, and help us to raise awareness for first responder and veteran suicides as we walk the bridge tonight, the 22nd of every month.
Yep, you're going to kick off at 6:30, right?
Yes, we
Correct.
will.
Okay. All right, and you know what? As always, this is 99% Radio Network. We want to thank our new sponsor, Mad Dog from Microdot Helmets. Thank you, Mad Dog, and to all your staff, and for your August 8th planned event for taking the courthouse steps in your cities. I want to thank Joe Morrow for putting together July 30th at Toyota Stadium for for Back Our Blue events. I want to thank everybody that's out there who is riding, supporting, and being part of our show. Thank you, and God bless you all. Stay safe, and until next week, keep the rubber on the road.